Yes, sir.
Okay. So read this question, Pujit.
Complete the following sentences using the simple present tense of the verb given in the bracket. An example has been done for you.
So read the example also.
The moon revolves around the earth.
Can you see my mouse pointer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The verb given in brackets is revolve. Now the statement is the moon dash around the earth. When you're talking about moon's action of revolving around the earth, in this statement, this verb should be used in this form. So now in every sentence, you have a verb given in brackets. In the blank space, you need to put that verb in the correct form, whichever is suitable for the statement. Okay, so Pujit will be reading sentences, and whoever wants to answer can simply ask for the permission and give the answer. Pujit, start reading one by one.
Do we dash every Sunday meet?
Yes, who would like to try?
So can I?
Yes, at least there is somebody who wants to.
Do we meet? Do we meet every Sunday?
Okay, Pujit, next.
Sunil cannot dash answer the
Just
question
wait,
right
Pujit.
now.
Wait a minute, Pujit, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If I ask you to answer, there are very few who would like to or who want to answer. Let's do one thing because numbers are given here with the statements B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. What you all have to do is write your answer, means your correct word or verb form with the blank number B or C or D in your notebook and then type everything in the chat section and post. I'm giving you a time of one, two. One is already done. Two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.5 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes only. In
Yes,
two
sir.
minutes, write your answers in chat section. Everyone. Nilay will be counting who has not sent the answer.
Yes, sir.
Only the name of students who are not writing or sending answers. Done? Okay, enough time given. Only two students have responded yet. Who are these two? Three now. Four. Shamina, you wrote only four answers. Now check your answers. Pujit, can you see answers in the blank spaces?
Yes, sir.
All are visible. Now everybody can check. And if something is not clear, you may ask. Checked?
Yes, sir.
Here is another one. Okay. There are 8 sentences. So for 8 sentences, I'll give you, I should give 4 minutes, but I'm giving 3 minutes. I'm giving 3 minutes to the class. No answers written.
Sir, can you show the screen again?
Yes, I'll show the screen and then I'll show the answers also on the screen. I was trying to check on my screen how many of you have sent answers. No one has yet sent. Chalo, after 10 seconds, I'll share answers. If you have noted your answers in your rough notebook. Check them.
Sir, I have sent.
Look at this sentence. Here, the action performed is singing. So, singing is the verb in this sentence. Now, in the second sentence, the action is applaud. And so, it is the verb. But what does the crowd applaud? His singing. So, in this sentence,
We shall see this one afterwards. I want you to first watch this video. If audio and everything is clear, tell me. If not, just tell me. Who will do that? Pujit or Nila, anyone can do.
Hi,
Yes, sir.
I'm Martin. Welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson,
When you watch this video, see all the things that they are explaining. Wherever you feel like writing down, write it down. Keep your notebook and pen ready. There may be many things which are required to be noted down, okay? If you want me to pause, if you want me to play again, I will do that. Ask me, I can hear you. I'll pause it, I'll replay it. But if you feel like noting down something, definitely write it down.
you can learn about English verb tenses.
Are you confused about simple, perfect, and continuous tenses? Do you know how many verb tenses there are in English? In this lesson, you can get a big picture understanding of English verb tenses. You'll learn what connects English verb forms, which will make it easier for you to learn and understand verb tenses in English.
Let's start with an overview of the topic so that you understand what you're dealing with. Every English verb form has two parts. The first part is the time, past, present, or future. The second part is the aspect, simple, continuous, perfect, or perfect continuous.
So, there are 3 times and 4 aspects. You can combine them in 12 different ways. Pause the video if you want more time to look at the table. Let's do a quick test. Can you recognize these three verb forms? I was having dinner this time yesterday. He's been sitting there for hours. Where will you be next week?
Answer this. Sentence 1, 2, and 3. Write in chat section. Verb forms in these three sentences. Pujit, was it clearly audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nilay, have you received any response in chat?
Sir, not till yet.
Okay. 30 seconds more
Someone
given.
has just responded.
Yes, good. Twenty seconds more.
Do you know the answers? Let's check.
In the first sentence, the time is past and the aspect is continuous. It's past continuous. In the second sentence, the time is present and the aspect is perfect continuous. It's present perfect continuous. In the third sentence, the time is future and the aspect is simple. It's future simple.
You don't need to remember all of this now. What you should remember, all English verb forms are made of these two parts, time plus aspect. One more point, different teachers, books, and courses sometimes use different words for these things.
For example, some books use the word progressive instead of continuous. So instead of present continuous, they say present progressive. Other words have the same problem. For example, the words tense and aspect are used in different ways by different people.
Our advice, don't think too much about the words. Focus on the ideas. I understand it can be confusing, but this is really not your problem that people don't use these words consistently. Next, let's talk more about time. I said we're going to talk about past, present, and future, but really, we're mostly going to talk about the future. Why? Why is the future different?
English verbs have past and present forms. For example, be, was, do, did, want, wanted. So, to make a present form past, just change the present verb to the past verb. Like this. I go shopping once a week. I went shopping once a week. She's running in the park. She was running in the park. We haven't seen it yet. We hadn't seen it yet. It doesn't matter if the aspect is simple, continuous, perfect, or perfect continuous. Using a present or a past verb decides whether the meaning is present or past. That's almost too simple, right? But what about the future?
There are no future verb forms. You can't change the verb to make it future. So, you have to add something before the verb. For example, I'll be waiting for you outside the station. When are you going to tell her? He might join us later. Now you can see why the future is more complicated. There are many things you can add before the verb to give it a future meaning. You saw examples with will, be going to, and might, but there are other possibilities.
It's also very common to use present verb forms with a future meaning, like this. What are you doing this weekend? Class starts at 10. So, talking about the future is more complex. There isn't one way to give a verb a future meaning in English. And there's also a large overlap between the present and the future. What should you remember from all this?
Remember that every verb has only one past form and only one present form, but there are many possible future forms. There isn't one future tense in English. Now, let's talk about aspect. Look at 3 sentences. I went to Rome last year. I go to work by bus. I'll go with you. What are these 3 verb forms?
They're all simple. Past simple, present simple, and future simple. You can see that the past and present simple, you just use the present or past form of the verb without adding anything. For the future simple, you need to add something, like will or going to. In general, simple verb forms describe 2 things. 1, single actions. 2, repeated actions or states.
So, I went to Rome, or I'll go with you, describe single actions in the past or the future. I go to work by bus describes a repeated action in the present. The present simple can't generally be used to talk about single actions. The present simple generally expresses repeated actions or states.
The past and future simple can be used to talk about single actions, repeated actions, or states. For example, I went to Rome every year until 2012. I'll go with you on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I can't on Thursday. So, what about continuous verb forms?
Let's start with 3 examples. I was eating dinner at 7 o'clock last night. I'm eating a tuna sandwich. This time next week, I'll be eating fresh seafood on an island. These 3 sentences are all continuous. Past continuous, present continuous, and future continuous. Can you see what connects them?
First, all continuous forms use the verb be together with an ing verb. So, to make a continuous form, take the verb be in the past, present, or future, then add your main verb with ing on the end. For example, she was telling me a really interesting story. They aren't helping at all. It'll be getting dark at 5 o'clock. What about the meaning of continuous forms? Can you see what connects these examples?
Continuous forms describe things which are incomplete. Generally, continuous forms are used to talk about one moment in time. So, you say, I was eating dinner at 7 o'clock last night because you're talking about a moment in time.
I want you to watch this portion more carefully. If needed, I'll play this video once again in the next class, because this is a concept that you should try and understand once. This is going to help you.
7 o'clock. And something incomplete. You hadn't finished your dinner at that moment. In the sentence, she was telling me a really interesting story. You're talking about a moment in time when she was in the middle of her story. You use a continuous form because at that moment, she hadn't finished her story. Okay, but what about perfect verb forms?
Again, let's start with some examples. He hadn't finished speaking. She's finished all her homework. Will have finished everything by Friday. What do you notice?
All perfect tenses use the verb have in the past, present, or future form. After have, you use a past participle to make the perfect form. So, for example, to make the past perfect, you take the past form of have, which is had, and add a past participle. For example, we hadn't thought about it. I had never tried miso soup before.
For the future perfect, take the future form of have, which could be will have, and add a past participle, like this. I'll have finished all my exams by this time next year. What about the meaning of perfect forms? Can you see anything which connects these three sentences?
Perfect verb forms connect 2 points in time. For example, he hadn't finished speaking is past perfect. This connects 2 different times or actions in the past. To understand this, you'll need a longer sentence with more information. For example, he hadn't finished speaking when everybody started to leave. The perfect form connects the 2 different actions.
This is the best way to think about perfect verb forms. Perfect verb forms connect 2 points in time. How does this work in the present? This is present perfect. What 2 points in time does this connect?
It connects the present and the past. She's finished her homework in the past, before now, and now her homework is done and ready to be checked in the present. What about the future?
This
ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन तो नहीं हो रहा है?
No, sir.
Are you able to understand everything that they are trying to explain?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good, very nice, very nice. And are you noting it down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, I'll continue the video if you don't have any questions.
is the future perfect. In this case, it connects the present to a point in the future. When you say, we'll have finished everything by Friday, you mean that you will finish everything sometime between now and Friday. You don't know exactly when you'll finish everything, but you know that it will be somewhere in this period between now and the future.
Finally, let's look at perfect continuous forms. Here are 3 examples to begin. She's been feeling much better. We've been waiting for ages. By the end of the day, we will have been working without a break for 14 hours. What do you notice?
You can see that perfect continuous forms are a mix of the perfect and the continuous, which is logical, right? They're perfect forms because they use a form of have plus a past participle, which in a perfect continuous verb form is always the same, been. They're continuous forms because they use be plus a main verb with ing. How do you set the time of a perfect continuous form?
You set the time by
I have stopped because it is 3:10. Some part of the video is yet remaining. After having watched the complete video once, I wanted you to watch it once again. Now there is something little part remaining, so you can finish that also, and you can watch the entire video once again. Then almost everything will be very clear to you. With your pen, paper ready, writing down, trying to answer the questions they are asking, trying to tell the verb form or the tense of the sentence that they are asking. If in this way you do it twice, you will be able to understand. And then in the next class, wherever you have questions, wherever you have doubts in this, we shall discuss. You can ask me, I'll try to answer, okay? Now what I'm doing is, I'm sharing the link of this video in your class WhatsApp group. Which class is this? 9th A. Here it is. Students 9th A. I've shared this video link. You can open it and watch it once again. First, finish the remaining part. And if you want, I will play it once again in the next class. And if you don't, we'll directly discuss. Okay? By now, out of what we have seen, if you want to say anything or ask anything, please go ahead. Is there any part that was not clear?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everything is clearly understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very nice,
Yes,
very
sir.
nice. Good, good, good. Actually, they were explaining it nicely, so probably you would have understood. But what I want is watch entire video once again. Okay? So shall I stop it here now? It's already 3:13. You must be having one more class.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you may say Sairam and leave the class.
Sairam, sir.
Okay.
Sairam, sir.
Sairam, sir.
Sairam,
Sairam, sir.
Sairam, Sairam.